Hi, my name is Ki-hyun. Nice to meet you. Today I'm going to present about the environmental value of the consumer and how it affects their attitude toward more pro-environmental marketing. So I'm going to introduce you about the new concept about social-ecological thought marketing, and also I'm interested in the value ethics, marketing ethics. So this is my kind of initiating research for my interest. So I want to start with the question: do you think there is sustainable marketing enough? Today is green marketing, sustainable marketing, but at the same time people are criticizing about greenwashing, you are lying, and even though the company and many scholars assert that marketing is doing good, but still there are pessimism regarding, I think, on the marketing. Many researchers, including Kotler, has long emphasized that marketing is too focused on increasing and satisfying wants, and not just not mentioning about limiting it. Although we have a limited natural resource, marketing does not really mentioning about how we can handle, not necessarily always emphasizing wants, increasing wants. So my research motivation starts with this. The current approach to marketing is still on utilitarianism. So basically, more is better assumption. However, recently there are researchers that calling for new fundamental shift in philosophical ground, replacing utilitarianism. So I'm going to adopt a concept of virtue ethics, which is about enough is enough. So one of the marketing concepts based on virtue ethics called social and ecological thought marketing. Yeah, so this is quite new and very interesting concept. So I want to introduce to you. So research question first. I will briefly define what SET marketing, social and ecological thought marketing, differs from previous product, price, place, and promotion. And I'm going to empirically examine what drives positive attitude toward SET marketing. So in here, I adopted value orientation, environmental value orientation of consumers from different disciplines. For this research, probably I think that the implication might be how to promote positive reaction to SET marketing, because people are more asking for fundamental shift in marketing, and I want to examine what drives that. So briefly, I want to I present about the research summary. So this is a value orientation. So egoistic, altruistic, and biospheric. There are different kind of value orientation according to this literature, and it leads to a positive attitude toward SET marketing. But there are some mediating effects. But in this research, the core mediator is ascription of responsibility. The empirical study showed. So marketing ethics, as I previously said, business theory is never moral neutral, and we are just adopting, not questioning the question about utilitarianism. Yeah, and virtue ethics is about enough is enough, and it is more on community level, not just as an individual level, individual consumer, but it concerns more about larger community, collective community, and relationship, de-emphasizing individualistic. So it means that if you buy something, but it can actually have negative impacts on others, environmental, you can just stop buying, just the consumerism, So I will present about each construct of SET marketing product. So compared to the green product, it is different in three aspects. First is that it puts equal emphasis on social aspect, not just on environmental dimension. It means like labors. And second one is it resists the selling product that satisfy consumers' wants, which is dysfunctional to society. So it does not sell. But there are actually companies that are doing that. For example, Patagonia. And the third, It encourages positive externality that enhance social-ecological well-being and not just reduce negative externality. I think you can probably okay with the understanding. The price, compare with the sustainable marketing price, it includes associated ecological and social externalities. For example, high prices for fair trade and craft items. And also it personalized market price. Yeah, so it means it considers minimum wage, living wage of laborers. So actually the price is higher and the price is different, even though it's the same product. The third place, rather than relying on globalization, it emphasizes more on local product, locally produced product, because it has local multiplier effect, which means more money compensation for local producers and local society, not just big firms in big huge firms. Yeah, and as a mediator, I brought environmental value orientation as an independent variable. So value orientation, according to the value orientation studies, it affects people's value and people's environmental behaviors. It consists of three different value orientations. First, egoistic. It means that I am pro-environmentally behave because of my own personal benefit. I look cool or it's better for me. Altruistic value is about caring others, and biospheric value is about considering the entire ecosystem. So feeling of unity and responsibility to protect natural resources. So first hypothesis comes that, so I examined how these different value orientation affects the attitude toward SED marketing. And the second, as a mediator, I brought environmental belief. Environmental belief consists of two components. It's aware of consequence and ascription of responsibility. Yeah. So here is a hypothesis 2 and hypothesis 3. And based on previous findings, I assume that it will mediate. So here's a survey. So 1,000 respondents in Korea. And with this survey, we measured several based on the previous researches. So here is how I measured. I'm just skip this. Yeah, based on like previous explanation. And here's the result. First, hypothesis: main effect of environmental value orientation and SEC marketing was effective. However, if you see the number here, it does have a different effect. So biospheric has a stronger, while the egoistic has a very I would say small impact, although it's effective. Hypothesis 2 and 3 was also valid, but except the one, egoistic value orientation did not affect awareness of consequence. But regarding the ascription of responsibility, all three value orientation was affected. This is a mediation effect. So mediation by awareness of consequence, awareness of responsibility. Yeah, I'll just skip this. So basically it shows that in terms of egoistic value orientation, awareness of consequence does not mediate, but responsibility still mediates. However, for altruistic value, both of mediator works. And for biospheric value, both of mediator works. So yeah, you can compare the whole efficient. And here comes a structure equation model, which shows also significant, was viable. So I think from this empirical research, I think that all environmental value orientation positively impact attitudes toward SED marketing. However, egoistic value orientation does not mediated by awareness of consequence, while the others are mediated and mediated by value. Yeah. However, the last sentence says that all environmental value orientation, whether you are egoistic, altruistic, or biospheric, the concept of responsibility, ascription of responsibility, somehow mediates. So theoretical implication, I think this is a first study to empirically testing this concept, and it compared each environmental value orientations, and it proved the different mediating effects. And for the managerial implication, I think it is important to raise citizens' environmental value orientation from egoistic to more altruistic or biospheric. Although it's egoistic, we can still use ascription of responsibility to promote pro-environmental attitudes toward marketing, SET marketing. So this is a limitation on only examining on Korean consumers. Yeah. This is the end of my presentation. I welcome any comments on questions. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for the presentation. Any questions, please? Any comments as well? If not, I got a question to you.
Yeah.
SET marketing. Could you explain
Yes.
more about the SET marketing?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Which is not that much familiar for me to
Yeah.
understand.
That's right. Actually, it's adopted from the environmental psychology more from there. But it just fundamentally questioning the assumption of marketing itself. For example, So in terms of the
So what's
for-
SET means?
SET means
Social,
social and ecological
and T means what?
thought marketing.
Thought
Yeah.
marketing. Social ecological.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that kind of SET marketing is theoretically
Yes,
proven more recently.
Yeah, it was theoretically it was just like proposed like 2 years or 3 years back.
Okay.
Yeah, from environmental psychology and also in marketing several times. Yeah, so for example, like there has long been studied, it has been long studied on green marketing, sustainable marketing. So several scholars call it like first generation, second generation, third generation, and people I think they might perceive this as a like next alternative into more critical climate crisis. Or something. Yeah.
All right. And the other question is actually going to the practical implications of your papers. For example, for the sellers, especially for the environmentally friendly produced kind of sellers.
Yeah.
What kind of the value or what kind of information they can get from your papers?
That's a very good question, and I think so for sellers, for example, they don't know whether the consumer is altruistic value oriented or more of egoistic value oriented or biospheric value oriented. So it means that if I sell just green product, for example, different consumer with different value orientation might react in a different way. But since I revealed the mediating mechanism of this, I think even though for biospheric oriented and altruistic, it's okay, it's totally fine. Whether you just present it in any other ways, I think you will attract. But especially for egoistic value oriented, who considers that I'm still important, those kind of concepts.
But still, the sellers do not recognize he or she is egoistic or altruistic or biospheric.
That's right.
They cannot recognize the customers.
Yeah, so because they cannot recognize, I think the core mediating factor revealed by this study, which is ascription of responsibility, works for every segmental customer. That's my rough findings so far.
Ascription of responsibility. Could you explain what kind of ascription of responsibility? An example?
Ascription of responsibility is measured by this. So I feel jointly responsible for environmental problems. My contribution to the energy problem is negligible. Those kind of a construct adopted from. So it means that consumer, you have responsibility in this environment. Even though you are egoistic, you still have responsibility to this kind of a mindset will work, I think. But for awareness of consequence, for example, in like advertising, like related to previous presentation, people or the brand always said that this is urgent, this is, you should do this, you should do that, but rather than consequence, maybe responsibility works better. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for your question. Thank you.
Okay, we move on to the third presentation today, which is